Hey everybody, it's your boy, Eduardo Jackson, CEO, founder, creator of the Cinema Draft game, and coming at you this week with just the shot list. It's been a while since we've done one of these. We've had an excellent run of guests. I thank all my friends who stopped by the podcast, shared some controversial and not so controversial views and hot takes. But with it being a holiday week, a kind of weird holiday week slash weekend, extended weekend, what have you, didn't want to bother anybody to come on the podcast. Decided I was going to do just a shot list. No, it's not. I couldn't get anyone on the pod. Just didn't want to bother anybody. Everyone's been really gracious with their time. So it's been a while since we've done one of these, just the shot list off the top of the dome, no notes, just kind of stumbling through, looking at some of the values to be had in the cinema draft game. Maybe even, doing a call sheet or two, trying to figure out some strategy on the fly, seeing where where the value this week may lie. May lay? I think it's may lie. God, I got an English degree. I still can't get that one right. Anyways, so also, yeah, I thought about doing, one of those, oh, I don't know, podcasts with, based around the 4th, like what movies are based on Independence Day or the 4th of July. And then quickly you get to find out that, oh, it's like Independence Day and then 4th of July and the movies suck really badly right off from there. So I won't foist that upon you guys. We'll get into some strategy, some call sheet stuff for you. And yeah, and I guess with the holiday yesterday, we're off to a good start. It's only Wednesday, and we've almost got the background talent full. Good job, keep it up, guys. That's what I like to see. Let's get these contests full. The more people who play, the more money we can give away. And so let's just clear out the lane on one of these call sheets. You know how I like to do. I like to start the background talent, kind of feel my way up, so to speak, as I figure out my strategy on the fly. And it's still early. It's Wednesday. I don't even think Box Office Pro, those our friends over at Box Office Pro, have even done any of their projections yet. So we're really going to be creating some avant-garde strategies as we move along. So I cleared out my background talent call sheet, so we can start from scratch. Oh, there we go. Contest lobby. So let's get up in here. Quick draft a call sheet. And one advantage I do have over others is that I get to see the true bird's eye view because I did create the actor value system. But as last week showed, let's quickly take a look at the results from last week actually, because my contest, my call sheets were an abysmal failure. I tried something a little bit out of the box. I really was grasping for a strategy and did not work out so well for your boy. Let's take a look at the call sheet in the feature presentation. It was pretty bad, and only because I thought I could fade the juggernaut that was or that is Despicable Me. Au contraire, mon frere. Didn't work out so well for your boy. Did not work out so well. As you can see, it was kind of bunched up at the top. Some of our usual suspects. We got Gamble 24/7. We got the God of Cheese tied with Ring Balls 22. And actually, the God of Cheese has been coming on really strong of late. Not coincidentally tied to the fact that he is a group chat member. Welcome, come on, come all. And I do believe I was kind of off out of the group chat yesterday, as it was the 4th of July. And I mean, no rest for the weary, but I definitely wasn't as active as normal, but I do believe we welcomed a new member, Smee. Welcome to the group chat, Smee. And it was a good week for group chat members. The top 5, all 5 are in the group chat. I don't know what that says about the group chat, but if you want to be a winner, if you want to win this game in Cinema Draft, it might behoove you to poke your head up in there every now and then. Just in case people are wondering what the heck I am talking about with our group chat, I am talking about And actually the easiest way to get there, to be honest with you, is probably to go to our Facebook page. And I will drag that across for you right now. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/cinemadraft. Oh, and also, I mean, this might actually go up in time now that I think about it, but I will be part of a fireside chat at StepUpTF on Twitter. Her name is Elysia Silberg. Very cool South African accent. I can't do a South African accent, so I'm not gonna try one for you guys. But the South African entrepreneur Elysia Silberg has these fireside chats. I don't know. I mean, I like the idea. Very cool. I think she's doing it live from New York City. I'll be on this multi-country Skype chat. But it's July, and it's 10 a.m. over there, 7 a.m. Pacific. Not sure if you'll have a fire going, but you know what? I'm down. Let's do it. That's going on 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time, July 5th. So some of you, by the time you hear this, it'll have passed, but that's what I'll be doing with my morning today. And so yeah, so one of the easiest ways to access the group chat, go to our Facebook page, click on the notes section. As you can see, our press release announcing our WeFunder crowd raise, and here it is. Join our group chat. You click on see more, handy link on joining the group chat. And there it is, Marcus Graham's Secret to His Salmon from my favorite movie of all time, period. No debate. It is, of course, Boomerang. So jump in there. We have, oh, wow, we've got some people up in there. Nice. Nina, welcome. Hopefully you're not a troll. Yeah, some of our favorites, some of our past podcast guests. Kiana's in there. The Roan, Jay Devlin, fam of the pod. We miss you, Jay Devlin. Come back on the pod. So yeah, so all your favorite people are in there, freely discussing strategy. It's always a good time in the public Cinema Draft group chat. And yes, it's back to my dismal performance, my call sheet last week. Just gonna take a quick look at it, see what did not work. I was all in on Baby Driver. Fun movie. I really enjoyed it. Maybe I enjoyed it too much because I put too much faith in it. It only did about 21 million at the box office. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if this sucker had done maybe 28 million, I stood a shot. It's 28 times 1.4, 39.2 times 2, 78. I mean, it was, it was asking for a lot out of a Baby Driver. It really was. Yeah, I still could have gotten there. You had to have a Despicable Me headliner. That's all there was to it. And I tried to think outside the box, and sometimes you got to take a chance. I what can I say? I run a tech startup. I live a high variance lifestyle. So I took a shot. I failed. Kudos again to Gamble 24/7, Gamble 24x7, recent group chat edition, all-time money leader. The guy's won over $1,400 playing a free game in the last 6 or 7 months. So kudos to him. And he had Kristen Wiig headliner, the cheaper of the two headliners from Despicable Me, as well as 2 4-packs of Baby Driver, The Big Sick, and the difference was The Mummy. Sophia Boutella in The Mummy, whereas The God of Cheese and Ring Balls 22, perennial top 5 ghosts. They haunt the top 5 regularly. They went with Javier Bardem from Pirates of the Caribbean. So limited release, which looked like a dumpster fire this week, proved to be the difference. So once again, kudos to Gamble 24x7, our call sheet of the week. And also make sure that you're going to medium.com/@cinemadraft to check out all of our corporate information, all of our stories, the latest, the greatest. I put the podcasts up there, call sheet of the week, tournament results, all that good stuff. And also you can maybe even see stuff that I like, stuff that I've been reading on medium.com as well. It's where we host our corporate blog, Meet the Player, all that good stuff. Definitely check it out. Okay, so as promised, as threatened. Just the shot list this week. And of course, on the A list, we're looking at the one, the only Spider-Man Homecoming. It's going to be a no-brainer. You're going to want to have a headliner from this movie, mostly because it's going to do $100 bajillion at the box office. How much is it going to do? I don't know. Let's check out hsx.com. This is a site that I like to go to when I really don't know what to do as far as assigning salaries go, and they've been pretty helpful. Look at this. They have these. So with their game, they're basically doing like a stock-based game where they're assigning. Well, I was assign where they're using, where they're crowdsourcing values as if movies were stocks. And so one thing they like to do are what called derivatives, where basically it's like an offshoot of the general stock. Generally, they think that Spider-Man Homecoming is probably going to do about 267 million overall over the life of its run. And so the derivative off of that is opening weekend. We're making a smaller bet on what it's going to do opening weekend. So they think, or the people on their site believe it's going to do 117.88 million in its opening weekend. Basically, you can assign $1 per $1 million at box office for their pricing on this site. So that was fairly instructive. But if you look up, say, Despicable Me 3, which definitely was the cock of the walk this past weekend. I mean, and it did 75 million in its opening weekend. It did, I believe it opened, did it open on Wednesday? It might have opened on Wednesday, which might have depressed its overall. They thought it'd do about 101.71 million, 223 million overall, which I don't know. I mean, I think let's see what the Rotten Tomatoes scores have been. I've enjoyed the Despicable Me franchise. I love Agnes. It's so fluffy. It's my girl. It's so fluffy. I just want to die. Oh, I love you, Agnes. I'm gonna see you, Agnes. I'm gonna see you soon, Agnes. Oh, interesting. Only a 62% on the tomato meter. That's really low for a Pixar film. Maybe it's franchise fatigue. Maybe it's actually. I'm sorry. It's not. You know what? I apologize. It is not. Despicable Me 3 is not a Pixar film. Despicable Me franchise is from Illumination. That's Chris Meledandri and folks. But even still, it's gotten really good reviews. I believe the first two. So 62% is really fairly low. That actually might depress its overall box office take. I wish they'd actually kind of consulted this. Now I think about it, because these movies are generally pretty review proof. I mean, these are family films. The lane is pretty much cleared out over this past week for family films. I wouldn't necessarily call Transformers a family film. Too much stuff blows up per se, but the lane's been cleared out for an animated family film. They are generally review proof. But having only a 62% on the tomato meter, that's interesting. I did not account for that. That actually might depress some of its second weekend box office. I'm sorry, this is last week's. I had taken it down a notch, about maybe 7,000 on average. Actually, no, it looks like about 5,000 on average in salary for its second weekend. But this actually might be overpriced. Now that I think about it, because if it does, let's see. I mean, so if it did 72.5 million its opening weekend, and actually in whatever we did for scoring, we were working off of generally estimates at the box office over the weekend. I know Rough Night did not report at the time. Did they ever catch up with it? Rough Night? Nope. I hope it hasn't disappeared from the box office, because I think we have it in our talent pool this week. That would be very, very sad and distressing. But basically, yeah. So 72.41 million. If you assume a 60% drop, basically 24 minus 50%. So you're looking at 36.2 million. 25 million is probably kind of overvalued, even for a non-headliner. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. Obviously, we're only going to be able to get one of these in with Spider-Man Homecoming. A lot of excitement about this film. People are saying it's one of the best Marvel films yet. But of course, to be honest with you, they say that about all the Marvel films, that these are the best Marvel films yet. So take that with a grain of salt. But that's going to be the building block of our call sheet this week. We're going to start with the Spider-Man. Actually, I'm sorry. That's right. We're going to go with that's what we're going to do in the background talent. We're going to draft a call sheet. So of course, we're going to want to start with the cheaper of the two headliners. Anytime you get a chance, always get the cheaper of the two headliners. And even though he's the titular Spider-Man, Tom Holland is an unknown quantity. His boyish good looks. Let's take a look at Tom Holland real quick. What have we seen him in? Oh, our young lad's been busy. I do believe he's British. That's right, he played Charlie Hunnam's son in The Lost City of Z, Monster Calls. No one saw that. He had that brief cameo in Captain America Civil War. Underoos! And then Heart of the Sea, which nobody saw because that looked strange, weird, depressing. Ron Howard, our new steward of the Han Solo movie. R.I.P. directors Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. Chris Miller, Lakeside alumni, class of '93. Okay, so Underoos is up in the Heezy. Let's take a look at what else is out there. So now we have a decision coming up. Now, Baby Driver did pretty well considering it's already a chase film. Headlined by Ansel Elgort, which might just depress box office in its own. No one, I mean, he's been working steadily, but this is really like his first, truly feature lead type movie. I don't know. I mean, do we gamble on some more Despicable Me? Let's see what Despicable Me 3 looks like in here. If we can shoehorn in Kristen Wiig this week. All right, so at least 43,700 left for 8 slots. That's an average of 5,400. And then it gets pretty dicey. So if we just go looking at salary-wise, you still have Rough Night out there. You still have, is it The Mummy? Man. I mean, you have options. I mean, you're not going to be totally bereft, but I just don't know. I mean, this might just be a Stars and Scrubs type week, like an extreme Stars and Scrubs type week. Man, who do you go with at this point? I don't know. It's not looking too promising. I'm trying to think who's got, like, the Little Hours did really well. If we're looking at movies that did did really well. Only on 2 screens, 30,000 per screen. We know it's not sustainable. They just have no idea about its release pattern. The Little Hours. Another one that did well in limited release. Well, see, The Big Sick. Now here's a bit of a wild card. Now people did really well with The Big Sick last week because we had no idea how many screens it would expand to. Went to 71 screens. I'm estimating / guesstimating it's going to expand to 150 screens. We've priced it up accordingly. Check it out, The Big Sick. The Beguiled did its thing on limited release, but that's another one where it's a tweener. So, which is a term that's often used in basketball for a somewhat positionless basketball player. It's not used, terribly affectionately. It's like he's not a guard, he's not a forward, he's kind of a tweener. We don't know where to put him. Now, you hear someone like Jalen Rose, a former NBA basketball player, say that positions are these arbitrary things assigned to basketball players for novices so they can follow the game. But sometimes it can really, be true. It's like sometimes you just need a solid small forward, and you need someone who knows his role, can fill his role. And because they don't quite fit one role and don't quite fit another role, they're a tweener, they kind of get lost in the mix. The role is undefined, and it drags down the overall performance of the team. In this case, the tweener, a tweener type movie could be the death of our call sheet, only because sometimes you just need someone to fill a role. All right, this movie is going to be limited. It's going to do well limited. It's going to, we can trust The Rock in this actor's hands and turn it over to them and let them go. This week it's gonna be tough because you just don't know if it's gonna be safer going with a tweener, or like The Beguiled, where you're going to be on 700, 800 screens most likely, but you're only going to do about, it did 3.1 million, 3.2 million essentially, pretty healthy per screen average of 4,600, almost 4,700 per. And if you're looking at per screen averages, look at The Big Sick is just cleaning up. The reviews for this thing are off the charts. This one definitely knows its role, but we have priced it accordingly. You're not going to be able to just stack up on The Big Sick without sacrificing some salary. Look at it. So starting at 9,000 in The Big Sick, going all the way up to 9,500 with Kumail Nanjiani, the headliner and star, The Big Sick. And this thing is just getting such incredible press. I actually now want to go see it in the theaters. A non-D-box film, no explosions, no seat moving. I'm definitely curious about The Big Sick. The Big Sick. Yeah, look at, an effortlessly funny, charming, romantic comedy. I'm sure, its tomato meter is like off the charts. Look, oh, wow, look at that. 93% for Spider-Man Homecoming. All right, so bump what you heard, get as much Spider-Man as you can, which is probably going to only be a headliner. But The Big Sick, it's up there. Its Rotten Tomato score. The Rotten Tomato score for Spider-Man Homecoming, 93%. That's pretty amazing. Oh, look at 96% for The Big Sick. That's pretty strong. Out of 111 reviews counted, 107 fresh, only 4 rotten. Is that you, Manola Dargis? Just some shade for Manola Dargis, my nemesis from my old reviewing days. So, yes, Big Sick. So The Big Sick is going to cost you. So you have a choice to make. Are you going to pile up on something like The Big Sick, which is only going to be on 150 screens, estimated? And for all we know, I know it expands wider next weekend. Not this weekend that we're playing, but next weekend, I believe it goes to like limited release status, like maybe 1,000 screens or something. Right now, we're guessing it still could be platform. So if it stays platform, I don't know. There's a calculus to be made. Do you get a second weekend of Despicable Me 3, which might only do about 36 to 40 million, or do you stockpile on The Big Sick? Because look what the Big Sick did for us last weekend. The Big Sick did 1.65 million, which at 1 point per 100,000 in our Cinema Draft game in platform release is going to get you, 16.5 points or 23.1 headliner points. I don't know. So it's tough. Like, I don't want to give you, a very safe strategy unnecessarily. There might be some value in The Big Sick. Look at this film, Maudie. Maudie, which was not in the talent pool last week. Maudie did 100,000 on 32 screens, about 3,000 screens per. Pretty strong. It might expand some. If it expands at all, if it does like maybe 50 screens at say 2,500 per screen, yeah, you're only looking at 125,000. Never mind Maudie. Skip Maudie. Just trying to be different. But no, so I don't know. It's just going to be an interesting weekend. It'll be interesting to see, the constructions. Just for sake of argument, this is what I would consider to be a more classical construction. Actually, let me take a look at something real quick. Spider-Man. Can we do 2 Spider-Mans in here? First, can we do 2 Homecomings in here? What if we did? I don't think so. It looks cost prohibitive. 41. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh no. You can. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? It might be a wrap then. I guess we found our strategy. It's gonna be tight, but if you do 2 Spider-Mans and punt the rest of your call sheet, you know, there's a path forward. It's not going to be pretty, folks. I mean, you're going to have a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy, which who are still seeing these movies? I don't understand. I don't understand. Guardians of the Galaxy last weekend in the Cinema Draft game did 1.54 million at the box office, 3.08 points or 4.31 headliner points. It's in limited release. It's still too wide. I don't. So my guesstimate for this week is that it's going to do the Guardians of the Galaxy, which has been out for now 2.5 months, almost 3 months. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I mean, it's a candidate to get into platform. If it gets in the platform, I love it all day. Right now, I'm guesstimating it might just be outside of platform and limited release, and that really could screw you. So let's take a closer look at what's out there for us in limited release for this price point. And actually, let's do something I don't really normally do here. Let's go purely by salary, highest to lowest. Okay, here we go. So this is what you're looking at, because basically, if you do 2 Spider-Mans, you're left with on average 5,100 uh, for those last remaining 8 call sheet slots. And so this is all you got. Basically, all you can look at is 5,200 and below, and you have limited platform releases. Actually, oh wow! So you're gonna get one Mahdi basically, or Captain Underpants, or Rough Night, or The Little Hours. I would avoid Rough Night. The fact that it's not tracking on our box office is very scary. You could truly be left with just a minimum score of 1 point or 1.40 for a headliner. But on average, you're looking at 5,125 per actor. So you got to keep it tight, got to keep it right. So as far as platform goes, you're gonna have to punt with Mahdi and then stock up on either The Little Hours, Captain Underpants, Pirates of the Caribbean, or Guardians, and or the Mummy. The Mummy actually had showed signs of life last week. Actually, the Mummy is what helped win Call Sheet of the Week for Gamble 24/7. So I think if there's safety in if there's any kind of safety to be had, I think you're going to want to stock up on the Mummy for as cheaply as possible. So let's click on the Mummy. Let's see what we can afford out here. You definitely can't afford these headliners. They're out of our price range, but let's take as much of the Mummy in this lower rung as we can. So there's 4 of them, 5,000 or less. Okay, awesome. Let's see what kind of call sheet leaves for us here. And to be honest with you, I mean, this is going to be a week where if you go this strategy, it's definitely going to be it's definitely going to be wide open as far as like what movies do we think are going to perform. It's a crapshoot. I mean, once you start getting toward the bottom of the box office barrel, I mean, anything goes. Anyone could win. As far as like movies go, it's going to be very tight towards the top. What movies are stackable? It's hard to tell because they're all in this. When you look at the box office in our price range for these movies from last week, 3 points, 2 points, 5 points. What are we talking about here? Captain Underoos is 2 points. Who knows? Who knows what assemblage of actors from these movies and what amount? Are we stacking on the Mummy? Are we stacking on Guardians? Are we doing a mix? Do we need 5 actors from Guardians? Do we need 5 actors from the Mummy? It's a crapshoot. Who knows? So I predict a lot of tightly packed scores, a lot of sharing in the same brain. We'll get more intel later on today. Today is Wednesday, July 5th. We'll get more intel, which will inform our decisions and definitely change our call sheets. But for now, we're going as cheap as possible. 21,000 for 1, 2, 3, 4 slots left. So we're still looking at about 5,500, 5,250 and some change. We definitely need to get a platform release up in there. We might save that for the little hours if need be. Let's get some Pirates in here. Pirates still has little juice in it, and still distinct possibility it could go platform. Man, 11,000. So 55. Okay, so now we've got a little breathing room. Now we can go up to 5,500. So let's see what's out there in 5,500 land. That might even be able to afford us a headliner from one of these. Let's see. God, all eyes on me. What did that do, if anything? God, it looked like, I mean, talk about a drop off. And I told you, it's not a good movie. Great Tupac concert film, terrible movie. Even that did okay. That one, though, we're expecting is going to drop into platform, aren't we? And actually, let me undo this. That one we expect will drop into platform. All eyes on me. Yeah, about 400 screens. What did it do per screen? I'm still not a huge fan of what it's doing per screen. 1,400 per screen. 42 million overall for what I think was like a $16, $20 million budget. So, you know, kudos to them. They got their money on a terrible, terrible film. Man, this is rough. How do we fill out the rest of these slots? This is going to be tight. So if we have 11,000 left, can we do 5,600? Are there any headliners out here to be had that we want at these prices? Beatrice at Dinner, we think actually might fall into platform. What did Beatrice do per screen? Beatrice at Dinner, yeah, 1,600 per screen. Oh man, I don't know. This is tough. This is where, you know, winners and losers will be decided. Because if we do Javier as a headliner, which I'm tempted to, the Hero. What did the Hero do? The Hero actually had a pretty good week. 2,000 per screen, 800. Wow, 800,000. Because let's say it drops to 1,400 per screen, and it's on the estimated 450 screens. 600. You know, let's do the Hero. Let's see if we can afford the Hero. May not be able to get. We may not be able to get a headliner. Actually, let's do this. Let's get Laura Prepon as a headliner from the Hero. And just fingers crossed that people are seeing this damn movie still. And then we have a $5,000 slot left over. Okay, perfect. So let's just punt salary. What can we get for 5,000? Because now we fulfilled our platform release with Laura Prepon as a headliner from the Hero. And so 5,000, what can we afford? Is it Captain Underpants? Is it Rough Night? No, it's definitely not Rough Night. I think it's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's just keep it safe, because even with declining box office last week, Guardians of the Galaxy 3.08 points to Captain Underpants 2.26. They were both limited releases, so screw it. Let's go Guardians of the Galaxy. This might be your call sheet here, folks. If we're assuming, you know, let's just say for sake of argument, 110 million opener for Spider-Man with our headliner and Tom Holland, that's 154 points. So plus another 110 with Bokeem Woodbine. Yeah, and shout out to Bokeem Woodbine. This brother still getting work. Dead Presidents. Who remembers Dead Presidents? That might be before some of y'all's time. I'm old. I'm 41, but man, remember Dead Presidents back in undergrad. Seeing that movie at the Clark Atlanta University. Their version of the Civic Center. Dead President Bokeem Woodbine. Thought that brother was going to blow up. Shout outs to Bokeem. Chastity Ballesteros. What movie is this? This is okay. So this is The Mummy. So yes, then we get like our influx of The Mummy. So with The Mummy from last week, doing about 2.94 million in limited release. Let's say it does another 2 million in limited. So that's essentially 4 points each. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So another 16 points for that. Golshidov, Farnaev. Oh yeah, so it's now we're going back to Pirates. Pirates also didn't do a bunch. 2.53 million. Okay, so assume another 2 million for that. So we're looking at another 4 points if it stays in limited, which I believe it may. So 1, 2 more for that. So that's another 8 points for Pirates, and then Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, it would nothing would please me more if Guardians slips into platform. It most likely won't. So that's another one that might do another 2 million based off of last week's box. No, actually, no, not even. Okay, so that one's going to do probably about a million and 1.25 million ish. So let's just say another 2.5 points. Say 3 points. No, another 2 points. That one's rapidly running out of steam. So up to 290, and then Laura Prepon in the Hero, which the Hero did its thing last week. If it does about 1,500 per screen, let's just hope for another 6.5 points out of it times 1.4. So as a headliner, another 11 points. So this could be a 300-point call sheet. That adds up to me in my head at 301 points. There's your call sheet. Wow. I did not know we could get 2 Spider-Mans up in there. That's very intriguing. So it'll be very intriguing to see what kind of strategies come out this week. Definitely looking forward to seeing the call sheets everyone comes up with. Appreciate your support. Appreciate all the early call sheets. Definitely stay tuned as more information comes across the pike. Sign up for a group chat. We're always sharing information in there. They get all the good stuff first. They get the first cracks at our YouTube podcast. They get first cracks on the Intel, Box Office Mojo, Box Office Pro predictions. Everything goes down the group chats. Definitely check us out. And, follow us as you've normally done. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hell, we even have a Pinterest page. Kind of exciting. Look at our Pinterest. Look at us go. 8 whole followers. Few the proud. So yes, we're everywhere. Subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, all that good stuff. Our corporate blog is at medium.com/@cinemadraft. And good stuff. Check out the fireside chat coming up. I guess I'll be on this thing in an hour. And definitely appreciate your support. Spread the word. Get your friends playing this game. We need people. The more people, the more money. The more money, the more people. And some really cool stuff going on with the game. Appreciate your support. Group chat, shout out to the group chat. Our numbers are growing slowly but surely. And thanks everybody for your support. And I don't know if you guys have the week off on this weird holiday weekend, all you working folk, but between now and the next podcast, why don't you go see a movie or something?